Welcome back to High Stakes. Today, we will be discussing the following MLB matches that is happening on Thursday, August 17, 2023. We will be providing our team, total and prop picks for the day. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If you want access to our premium picks, you can check out our Patreon page. You can find the link to our Patreon page in the description and comments section below. Detroit Tigers vs Cleveland Guardians. Take the Tigers on the money line. And here is why. Tarik Skubal is expected to take the mound for the Tigers. He went 5.1 innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 walks, 4 earned runs, and struck out 3 in a loss in his last start against the Boston Red Sox. Skubal has a record of 2-2 with a 4.18 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, and a 36.6 KBB ratio in 7 starts this season. Opposing batters are hitting .254 against Skubal. The Tigers have been terrible on offense this season. They are bottom 10 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBIs, walks, batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. Detroit's pitching staff has been good to fairly average this season. They are middle of the league in ERA, hits allowed, runs allowed, home runs allowed, WHIP, and batting average against. Detroit is top 10 in walks allowed. It is unlikely the Tigers make the playoffs, but they are not completely out of the race in the AL Central. Tarik Skubal is expected to take the mound for Detroit, and Cleveland has been terrible this season against left-handed pitchers. The Guardians rank bottom 5 in the league versus southpaws in batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. Detroit has fared well against Curry and limited at-bats. In 19 plate appearances versus Curry, Detroit has a .368 batting average and a .367 expected batting average. With Skubal on the mound, the Tigers will win this contest and take the under 8.5 runs. As our total pick, and here is why. The Cleveland Guardians are expected to start Xavier Curry. In his last start, he went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 earned runs, and struck out 1 in a no decision against the Tampa Bay Rays. On the season, he has a record of 3-1 with a 3.39 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, and a 46.19 KBB ratio in 5 starts and 30 appearances this season. Opposing batters are hitting .240 against Curry. Cleveland has been poor on offense this season. They are bottom 10 or around the bottom 10 in the league in runs, home runs, RBIs, walks, OBP, SLG, and OPS. The Guardians' pitching staff has been fairly good this season. As a team, they are top 10 or around the top 10 in the league in ERA, hits allowed, runs allowed, home runs allowed, WHIP, and batting average against. Cleveland has been slipping in the AL Central standings, and the Twins have been separating themselves from the Guardians. Winning the division is Cleveland's best chance of making the playoffs, as they will not grab a wild card spot. The Tigers have been terrible on offense this season. They are bottom 10 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBIs, walks, batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. Tarik Skubal is expected to take the mound for Detroit, and Cleveland has been terrible this season against left-handed pitchers. The Guardians rank bottom 5 in the league versus southpaws in batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. This will be a lower scoring game, and the under will hit. Arizona Diamondbacks vs San Diego Padres. Take Arizona with the money line. And here is why. After an incredible start to the 2023 season that saw them streak away to a big lead in the NL West, the Arizona Diamondbacks have slowed down considerably, with their 4-6 record over their past 10 games, seeing them sit 1.5 games back of the final NL wildcard spot. Their past 5 games have been much better, with 2 straight 2-1 series victories, and with a 13-8 mark in their past 21 games against the NL West. This is their chance to make a major push for a playoff spot once again. On the mound, Arizona turns to Cy Young Award candidate Zach Gallen, who has posted a 12-5 record on the season with a 3.24 ERA in 156 innings of work through his first 25 starts on the year. His last start was a dominant 6 shutout innings against the Padres, 1 of 5 quality starts over his last 6 appearances, and if the Diamondbacks are to make a playoff push, they need him at his very best down the stretch. Although the Padres have managed a 6-4 record in their last 10 face-offs against the Diamondbacks, recent matchups have seen a shift in favor of the latter team. In fact, the Diamondbacks have clinched victory in their past 2 encounters, bringing the overall tally to an even 4-4 in their last 8 meetings. During these last 2 games, Arizona has collectively scored 8 runs against San Diego. Given that a Cy Young candidate is set to pitch against a seasoned veteran, and with a noticeable surge of optimism fueling their playoff aspirations, this particular game holds significant importance, especially considering that Arizona is playing on the road. Take the over. For our total pick. And here is why. The San Diego Padres were expected to be an electric, star-studded World Series contender in 2023, but with plenty of underwhelming performances and a 3-7 record over their past 10 games, their playoff hopes are slowly fading. In their past 14 games against division opponents, the Padres have just a 5-9 record, as well as being 4-8 in their past 12 games played against teams with a winning record, so this will be a major test to see if they can go on a miraculous run late in the year. On the mound, San Diego looks to veteran left-hander Rich Hill, who, at 43 years of age, has combined for 24 starts and a 7-12 record this season between the Padres and Pirates, posting a respectable 5.17 ERA. Unfortunately, since the start of July, 8 total starts, Hill has allowed 28 earned runs through 36.2 innings of work, and if the Padres are to make some noise down the stretch, they need a serious turnaround from the veteran. Milwaukee Brewers vs Los Angeles Dodgers. Give me the Dodgers at home in this one. And here is why. The Brewers had their 4-game winning streak snapped on Tuesday night in a 6-2 loss at Los Angeles. Milwaukee managed only 2 hits, and starting pitcher Adrian Hauser, 4-4, ran into trouble in the 6th inning that buried the Brewers. Milwaukee got on the board first when left fielder Christian Yelich singled and later scored on a fielder's choice, but the bats went quiet after that. The Brewers' next hit didn't come until the 7th inning when first baseman Carlos Santana homered. Milwaukee is currently in the middle of a 9-game road trip which they started 3-0 before Tuesday's loss. With the Reds and Cubs also losing on Tuesday, the Brewers maintained a 3.5-game lead in the NL Central standings. This matchup presents an intriguing clash between two of the most formidable teams in baseball, featuring two pitchers who have exhibited exceptional performance during stretches of the summer. Lance Lynn has showcased exceptional prowess in his 3 starts with Los Angeles, while Corbin Burnes demonstrated a remarkable ERA of 1.85 in the month of July, despite encountering a rough outing last week. The Dodgers are firmly establishing their dominance in the NL West, having secured an impressive 12 victories out of their last 13 games. Their lineup holds greater firepower compared to Milwaukee, and the statistics corroborate this claim. Los Angeles consistently scores nearly 1.5 runs more per game than the Brewers, and they also exhibit a higher batting average and greater power hitting. Freddie Freeman appears unstoppable at the moment, as evidenced by his 3 hits in 10 career at-bats against Burnes. The Dodgers' home record of 38-20 cannot be overlooked either. Equally compelling are Lance Lynn's career numbers against the Brewers. With an impressive 11-3 record and a 2.16 ERA in 21 appearances against Milwaukee, Lynn's track record adds further weight to Los Angeles' prospects in this matchup. For our second pick, I like the over. And here is why. Despite how good these starting pitchers have been in recent weeks, I'm backing the over in this game. The Brewers come in averaging 6.5 runs per game over their last 6 contests, and Corbin Burnes has a career ERA of 8.50 in 6 appearances against Los Angeles. The Dodgers have spotted Lance Lynn with an average of 7 runs per game in his 3 starts with the team so far, and they have one of the best over-under splits in baseball at 68-44-5. With a couple of MVP candidates in Betts and Freeman atop the batting order tearing the cover off the bowl right now, it's hard to pass up an over.